Maple Hollow was not the town the Calloway family had expected. Its quiet streets, lined with tall, gnarled trees, seemed almost alive in the dimming light. Jenna Calloway, long brown hair falling straight around her oval face, moved carefully along the cracked sidewalks, notebook in hand, curious about the town's odd charm. Her younger brother Leo, with his short messy brown hair and hazel eyes, constantly muttered complaints about the shadows that stretched too long and seemed to twist in impossible ways. Their parents were busy unpacking boxes, unaware that something about the town was watching, waiting. On the second evening, Leo tugged Jenna toward a flickering streetlight at the end of Hawthorne Lane. "Do you feel that?" he whispered. The yellow glow buzzed and hummed as if alive, casting grotesque shadows across the pavement. The air felt heavier, almost deliberate, pressing against their lungs. As they stood beneath the light, the faint sensation that someone, or something, was observing them settled deep in their bones, leaving them both silent and tense, hearts hammering in unison. The following night, curiosity became impossible to resist. Jenna and Leo returned to the streetlight, their notebooks clutched in trembling hands. Leo bent down to retrieve a pen he had dropped and froze. Etched faintly into the cracked asphalt were symbols, almost invisible, glimmering when caught at just the right angle under the flickering light. Jenna crouched beside him, fingers brushing the damp, slick surface. Slowly, faint words appeared as if drawn from nowhere. "Do not follow me." Both froze, staring at asphalt as if it had suddenly become alive. Maple Hollow, once comforting in daylight, now felt predatory, its quiet streets twisting into traps of shadows and half-seen movements. The symbols pulsed faintly, as though they were warning them, or beckoning them. The siblings felt an undeniable chill. It was impossible to tell whether fear or fascination dominated. The air around them was thick and electric, charged with anticipation, and the streetlight's buzz seemed almost like a heartbeat, waiting for their next move. Sleep did not come easily that night. Jenna lay rigid under the covers, staring at the ceiling, listening to the creaks of the old house and imagining shapes moving just beyond her sight. Leo refused to leave his room, the pale light from the window casting long shadows across the walls. By the following evening, they were drawn back to Hawthorne Lane, compelled by something they could neither name nor resist. The streetlight buzzed violently, casting sickly yellow light, illuminating new messages written in invisible ink. "I see you. Closer than you think." Panic gripped them like a vice. The night seemed to breathe around them, shadows stretched and flickered unnaturally, like living tendrils, following their movements. Every step, every movement, felt observed. The street itself seemed aware, watching, judging, pressing in. Even the faintest rustle of leaves sent shivers down their spines. Maple Hollow was no longer a town. They realized it was a trap, alive and patient, desperate for answers. The siblings went to the town library, where Mrs. Whitmore, an elderly librarian with a tremor in her hands, greeted them as though she had been expecting this moment. They told her about the streetlight, the glowing symbols, and the whispers that chilled them to the bone. She listened in silence, eyes narrowing as she retrieved a dusty, leather-bound book from the archives. "Victor Hale," she said, almost reverently. "He was a painter. Obsessed with invisible ink. People say he vanished, leaving his warnings scattered around town. Those who followed them, sometimes never returned." Her hand shook slightly, her eyes darting to the window, as though something beyond the glass could hear her. Jenna and Leo felt the weight of her words settle into their bones. Maple Hollow was not just quiet, it was aware, cunning, and maybe hungry. Their fear mingled with curiosity, a dangerous cocktail they could not resist exploring further. The streetlight beckoned again. Shadows twisted violently around Jenna and Leo as they approached, the air growing frigid, heavy, and suffocating. Then, she saw it, a figure, smoky, semi-transparent, hovering just outside the light. Its presence radiated malice, and a whisper slithered across their skin, "You read too much." Jenna felt an irresistible pull toward it, an invisible thread tugging her forward. Beneath the streetlight, new words appeared in the faint glow of invisible ink: "Follow me, or never leave." Leo gripped her arm with desperation, fear etched into every line of his face. Their instinct screamed to flee, but the ink's pull was stronger, deeper, an almost hypnotic command. Somewhere, beyond the shadows, something patient and hungry watched, waiting for the moment to strike. The night was alive, predatory, and impossibly close. The glowing ink formed a trail leading into the forest, branches clawing at their arms as they advanced. The words pulsed with urgency, "I am trapped. I need release." Their flashlight illuminated the path, catching symbols that seemed to shimmer in warning. At the forest's edge, the trail ended at a crumbling stone well, overgrown with moss and roots, dark and foreboding. Jenna leaned over, flashlight trembling as a faint glow pulsed from below. A whisper echoed, unmistakably Hale's, "Free me." Leo's grip tightened on her arm. "We should leave," he pleaded, but the pull was irresistible. Shadows seemed to reach for them from every angle. The forest itself felt alive, the ink's glow like a heartbeat calling them forward, offering forbidden knowledge, promising answers that might destroy them. The final moment came with unbearable tension. Jenna and Leo, unable to resist, leaned over the moss-covered well. The streetlight buzzed violently, flickered, and went out entirely, plunging them into absolute darkness. When morning arrived, the town found only their notebooks, left neatly on Hawthorne Lane. The pages were filled with faintly glowing ink, "Next time, we follow you." Jenna and Leo were gone. The streetlight, patient and unyielding, hummed softly above empty pavement, marking new messages for the next curious souls. Maple Hollow returned to its quiet, peaceful facade, but beneath it, a malevolent awareness lingered, eternal, hungry, and waiting for the next footsteps that dared cross its path.